Hey, hey, beautiful people. Happy Sunday morning for me, July 5th. You know what today is? Aside from those two things, today is our 100th consecutive morning together. Crazy. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. And someday I'm going to have to go back and listen to what it sounded like on day one and see where I was mentally and see if anything's changed, actually. Anyway, yeah, pretty exciting. We've been together this long. I hope I get to stay home another 100 days with you. All right, our reading starts out with, I thank you, God, for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes, by E.E. Cummings. Within any 24 hours, free from active dependency, addiction, our answer to small and major decisions is yes. We are experiencing life fully and courageously, regardless of outcomes. Our feelings surface and subside like light on water. The words we share loudly or in whispers are as vivid and colorful as the world surrounding us. Our new reality is a gift on our spiritual journey back to friendship and health. As our active recovery fills each day with choices, duties, events, work, and play, we are often surprised by how swiftly time passes. Every minute in recovery, as long as we work our program, we are growing. Even the hard days when we feel the old doubts and fear and pain and days of healing. Our higher power has given us a new life, a new chance to say yes to the best in ourselves and the world. Today, let me gratefully accept what is offered to me. This reading does a really amazing job of capturing the before and after the craze of gambling. At least for me, from my perspective. I feel like I've always been inclined to enjoy nature, for example. Maybe not hardcore like camping with snakes and spiders, but I appreciate flowers. Of course, I'm in the business. I appreciate, trees and sunsets and rivers and oceans and, just all kinds of nature things. I'm not sure that I was fully present for them or could just shut my brain off enough to enjoy them the way that I enjoy them now. The way I enjoy almost anything now. Even ice cream tastes better, if that was even possible. And it's the way our lives become. Well, let's see if I can explain this the way I feel it. But when we're gambling, it's like we're carrying around luggage that doesn't have wheels. We're carrying around all this weight. And it's got all our shit, right? It's because our bucket's so full of negative, we need a whole big fucking suitcase to fill the rest of our negative. The lies, the sneaking, the fear of getting caught, the fear of not paying our bills, the fear of hurting other people, the drama that comes with our attitude thinking, the wondering, are we going to keep our jobs? Is anybody noticing? All those things are in that freaking big luggage. So we're always kind of like looking down and trying to lift it up and walk with it and stumble. So if we're walking by rainbows and rivers and waterfalls and even just, here's a shout out for you men, because I know I've done some female centric things lately. Even a perfectly mowed lawn with your little zigzags or circles or however way makes you happy to do a lawn. This is not my wheelhouse, obviously. But it's hard to see those things, right? Like and the lawn's a perfect example too. And this is just from my experience, the men that I engage with, just in any capacity, get really hinky about their lawn. So think about it. If you're a man listening right now and you know how much you enjoy your lawn looking good, beating the neighbors, the greenest, the brightest, whatever. When we're gambling and we want to get to the next bet, or our brain isn't engaged with our house and our yard and things being pretty, it's a chore, it's a task, right? And again, we're lugging around this suitcase full of our shit, and we can't mow the lawn as quickly or as well. Then we get rid of gambling and we start living recovery, and we get to just throw that freaking suitcase off a cliff. And now we're free. We're free to mow our lawn and look ahead and make the pretty little lines. I'm sorry. I hate the whole, this is a Bobbyism. Thank God I'm okay with if you don't like what I'm about to say. But houses and lawns and all that stuff just never, ever appealed to me. I don't really grasp it. So hopefully I'm doing an okay job with this metaphor. But I think that whether it's a lawn or a hike, everything is more vivid without gambling. And I'm grateful that my suitcase is off the cliff, gone, because I want to look up. I want to look forward. I want to see when I look. I don't want to just be looking to look. It's definitely not the same. And of course, it's not the same in surroundings, right? Like if I'm in the back room of a bar playing poker every weekend, that's way different than getting on my bike or going golfing or going to a picnic or whatever. So just the exposure to the things I can see, where in the back room of the bar, I can just keep my luggage next to the poker table with me. I'm not carrying it. I'm not bringing it anywhere. I can keep my shit close to me. It says that our new reality is a natural gift on our spiritual journey back to friendship and health. So I didn't even mention that. I was just talking about nature and fun. But if looking at a sunset changes, can you imagine how your health and your relationships could change? Picture this. All right, I'm having fun with the suitcase now. You're laying in bed with your partner, and you have this big freaking suitcase smack dab in the middle of you. Like, that's what it's like. You have your negative suitcase in the middle, and your partner probably has their negative suitcase from dealing with you or the repercussions of dealing with you. So we got to get the suitcase out of the bed. We got to get it out of our way and not carrying it. So now to the health part. If we're not dragging it, we're not hunched over, we're not able to run or go for walks or ride our bikes, like, we're able to be healthy and make better choices about our health because we're not always looking at this suitcase and handling this suitcase. I don't know why I'm hung up on a suitcase this morning, but I may actually stick with this because it's working as a good visual. And I've always thought of the bucket as coming and going, and I guess that's more of after we make some progress and we have to process our negatives and positives. And the suitcase is when we're actually in addiction versus the recovery. That's where the overflow goes. And it's just so freeing. It's just so freaking freeing to get rid of that baggage, that stuff that just drags us down. I'm sure if you've ever quit gambling for a little bit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is what I wish for everyone. Our higher power has given us a new life, a new chance to say yes to the best in ourselves and the world. It's another point to just mention is it is about ourselves. It's about looking for the best in ourselves. It's not about anybody else, at least when I wanted to say at least when we start, but always it should be us first. But not until we're strong enough and understand what it is we want and need can we even try to give to anybody else, whether it's in our circle of life or in the rooms. Being self-devoted and hyper focused on not betting and not living that life and keeping the suitcase from coming back or filling back up or going out to buy a new suitcase. Oh, there's another thing, right? If we get rid of all the shit from gambling and we switch to drinking, we basically bought a new suitcase. And the shit then goes in the drinking suitcase. Holy cow. I'm having an aha moment here. I hope you're having it with me. If you could actually see this, right? So we had the suitcase, which was gambling, and we buried all the stuff that we didn't want to deal with. We put it in the suitcase. It doesn't go away. I'm picturing shackles now dragging the suitcase. But all that shit is in there. And then we get rid of the suitcase, but maybe we didn't really deal with those problems. Maybe we start to, but stuff starts happening again. And instead of having the nice foundation of self-care and different activities and honesty and vulnerability and higher power and all the things that come with recovery, maybe we don't find those. And this is what I would call abstinence, guys. Like, not betting and being in recovery are two different things. And in my humble opinion, but recovery, you got to actually, do the work every day and change as a human being, where abstinence is just not doing the act. So if we're being abstinent, that stuff still has nowhere to go. Maybe we're being abstinent from the bet and we're switching to alcohol, or vice versa. I've heard many people in the rooms that struggled with alcohol for years and years and years. And I don't know enough about their journeys, but maybe they didn't do the internal work. So to process whatever came next, they switched to gambling. It works both ways. In the therapy space, they call it co-occurring disorders and cross addiction and this and that. Basically, it's just a fucking Band-Aid, or it's wheels, trying to find wheels on your suitcase. But the wheels are still broken. The suitcase is still full and it's still weighing you down. And the beautiful life of seeing what's around us and being present for those moments. And those moments could be anything. I think Dr. Stone talked about leaving the room to go deal with the stock market when his wife was having his daughter. So, doing the bet instead of the beauty of this moment with his wife and child. And if I remember correctly, the daughter's older than his son. So, their first child, like, you don't get do-overs on that. You need to be present for that. It's a one-shot thing. So if we're not gambling and we could be there and experience the whole truth of that and the whole experience of that, isn't that much better than fucking around with your suitcase? Okay. Rant over. I guess I'm really jonesing to travel. I feel like such a schmuck, and I don't say this very often because I feel very selfish and just really like an asshole, because there's been so much loss from COVID, and I'm not just talking death. I'm talking loss of jobs, loss of minds, loss of lots of things, and being upset about not getting to travel seems just so trivial in the grand scheme of things, even though it's part of visit, like in a lot of cases it either had to do with my own self-development or visiting people that are just geographically not as close. And I know all that could be solved with Zoom and technology, and I'm not begrudging that, but to see some of my friends in KC or my family and friends in Colorado, or to hang out with my Tara on the cruise, I mean, these are all things that just got postponed or whatever. But those part of my growing as well. You know, my uncle and aunt out in Colorado are just some of the best human beings you'll ever come across. And just hanging out with them, I think I grow and get better every time, just because they're just freaking good examples, and they're amazing. And as well as their daughter and her family, of course. The girls are awesome. Anyway, so being with family is beneficial, and going out and, again, to look at Colorado and its scenery is just way different than upstate New York. So that's my crazy, the worst of it for me, and why I don't feel like whining. I should be grateful that I could travel at all ever again, or that I got one trip in this year. So my little reminder for myself. Sorry, I went a little offbeat here, but anyway, congratulations again on spending 100 mornings with me. I will be back tonight for 100 nights. I think there's like songs or movies with titles like that, but yeah, I really appreciate you being here. Let me process things like suitcases and travel. Anyway. All right, I'll see you tonight. I hope everybody has a fabulous day. If you're thinking about me, keep your fingers crossed. I have a good game of golf. And to me, a good game of golf is seeing a bunny in the sun shining. So your prayers will be answered. All right, have a good day, guys.